Hello, welcome to the student walkthrough video for Paper 1, Question 2b. In this video, we are going to be focusing on Question 2b, looking at how the question is constructed, how to answer the question, and tips on what makes a good answer. We have other videos available which will guide you through this whole paper. And there are also videos so that you can work through each question in detail. Question 2b will ask you to plan your own follow-up inquiry from a source. It is worth 4 marks. We advise that you spend 6 minutes answering this question, unless you have extra time when you should spend 7.5 minutes. You will need to think carefully about your answers to these questions. You will always be given a grid that looks like this to write your answers on. First of all, check which source you are to follow up. If you use the wrong source, you will score 0. So today we are going to focus on this question from the Medicine in Britain paper. How could you follow up source A to find out more about the work of medical staff in casualty clearing stations on the Western Front? Here we have some examples from the other Paper 1 units: Crime and Punishment in Britain, Warfare in Britain, and Migrants in Britain. You will see that the question is constructed in the same way across all papers. You will have a grid on which you will write your answers, and you must look carefully to check that you are writing about the correct source. When you are answering question 2b, as I have said, you will write your answers on this grid. First of all, you will be asked to select a detail from the source that you can use to create a follow-up inquiry. This can be specific information in the source, or if it's a written source, you can use a quotation. You should then write a question. The answers to this question should give you more information about the inquiry. And if we're thinking here about our question from the Medicine in Britain paper, the question that we write here should give us more information about the work of medical staff in the casualty clearing stations. You then need to choose a specific source that will give you the answer to your question. You need to know a range of sources that a historian might use to find out more about your historic environment study. Choose the source that you think will have the answer to your question and make it specific to the inquiry by adding a date or a place. In the final part of the grid, you need to explain why you have chosen this source to answer your question. Here we have a 4-mark answer to our question from the Medicine in Britain paper: the work of medical staff in the casualty clearing station. There is a detail from source A, a quotation. There is a question that has an answer that will tell us more about the work of medical staff in a casualty clearing station. A specific source, in this case, a diary from a member of medical staff working in a casualty clearing station. And the answer goes on to explain how the source chosen will answer the question that they have selected. So what makes a good answer to question 2b? A detail, a short quotation from the source, or a specific detail seen in the source. A question, and we've got some examples here. You could start your question with what was the situation or how typical, but it must be linked to the broader inquiry. A specific source. Choose your source and then add a place or date that is linked to the focus of the inquiry. And then go on to explain how your source will answer the question that you have chosen. That brings us to the end of this walkthrough video. In this video, we have looked at how you should answer question 2b on paper 1 of your GCSE History exam. We hope you have found it useful. Remember that we have videos for every question on each paper available. You will also find more information for students on our website in the course materials section under Student Support.